Good morning. This is my idea for the new field setup. So we'll start off with explaining the 50-yard field. So down here we'll have the PFO, PFOA in their normal location. Um, and then since we'll have three flights on the field, we can spread them out so that each flight has its own, we'll call these alleyways. They'll fall in staggered like this, and these X's is where we can put the cones. Um, and then once they're falling in and we start the exercises, they can kind of spread out within their alleyway as much as they want, as long as they're staying socially distant from the flights to their left and right. But this area here we can utilize, and on this field especially, we can utilize the line markers. So like let's say they'll have from the 40, or no, it's a 50-yard field, so maybe from like the 20 to the, I don't know, 5 or end line or something like that, and then this flight has from the end zone over. This flight has from the 10 over. And we'll try and keep these workouts to be stuff that you can do behind your cones and stationary. So kind of the same sort of calisthenic look that we've put on PT in the past. Keeping folks in one spot. Again, they can spread out within this alleyway, but they would be contained to staying with their flight. And since there's three flights on the field, we wouldn't have that middle space to do our runs, which is where Gettler comes into play. So this is a horrible rendition of Gettler, but it is the limit of my artistic ability. So it's the same sort of setup. PFOs in the middle, flight to the left, flight to the right, flight in the middle, and they're staggered back. The look for this field is that everyone would start off with the push-up and sit-up check over here. We'd always do the push-up and sit-up check on Gettler, and then we go into a calisthenics workout. And what we could do with calisthenics is take turns, either one flight at a time or two, running on the track. If we did one flight at a time, it would have to be an individual run. So you're kind of running at your own pace for a predetermined amount of time. If you did two flights on the field, it would have to be that warrior style run where the flight is lined up in a socially distant way, and the person in the back runs to the front, and things like that. And I will note in the ConOps how much space you need to pass for each of those setups. What I'm thinking is if there's one flight on the field, you can pass 2 lanes over. That'll help keep us a little safer. If there's 2 flights on the track, then we'll limit that to passing on the next lane over, and then we'll leave a space. So let's say there's a flight here, and then a lane, and then a lane, and then a flight here, and then a lane. So this flight, they'll pass in this lane, and then there's still this lane here of like empty space, and they'll pass on this side. And that can all be noted in the ConOps, and it will be noted in the ConOps once we start executing this. But again, we don't have to do 2 flights on the track. We can just, each flight takes 10 minutes or so, about 10 minutes on the track, and gets a good solid run in at their own pace. I feel like that would be beneficial at the beginning. Not that we necessarily have a ton of PTs left, but it would be beneficial at the beginning because we've kind of been trapped and kind of trapped on those fields and stuck going at certain paces, kind of letting everyone loose on the track. Not with regulations, but just saying, hey, you're going to be able to set your own pace here. Here's the workout. Make sure that you're able to complete it all, setting them loose from that perspective. So I will type this all up into a ConOps for potentially week 7, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you.